Coming up next, we have an exclusive sit-down interview with the attorney representing Subu Vedam.
I think that once more, the fact that he's been exonerated and his name has been cleared is of huge psychological benefit to him.
Plus, an inside look at Penn State's homecoming parade that will take place tonight.
And a historic inn caught fire and burned to the ground early Sunday morning. The Center County Report starts now. Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Matz.
And I'm Anna LaCastro. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report.
Our top story, the lawyer for the man released from prison after 40 years when a Center County judge overturned his conviction, says he is hopeful for his client's future, even though Subu Vedam is now in federal custody.
For Subu's case, the age of the case, all the procedural hurdles, the fact that we even had a hearing was a really big deal. And of course, to be able to get the exoneration is even a bigger deal.
Attorney Gopal Balachandran spoke exclusively with the Center County Report's Hannah Newar. He's been representing Vedam since 2022. Vedam, a native of India, was released from SCI Huntington last Friday. Immigration agents then took him into custody immediately because of drug charges from the 1980s. He is now held in the Moshannon Valley Processing Center. His attorney says, although he hasn't spoken to Vedam since his detainment, he's optimistic about his chances for release.
I know it's crazy as it sounds. I do think we have to trust the process, despite all of the rhetoric that has gone and kind of filled the airwaves around immigration and ICE. There were still processes that are at work in the United States, and that's a good thing.
Vedam did have a permanent resident status in the United States at the time of his arrest. Balachandran said it could be months before his immigration status is resolved.
Fire stations across Center and Union counties responded to a fire at a historic inn over the weekend. Reporter Danielle Dempsey has more.
Over 200 years of history gone in a matter of minutes. A massive fire destroyed the Woodward Inn in Haines Township early Sunday morning. Also known as the Stagecoach Inn, it first opened in 1814. An overnight stopping place for travelers and a hub for Penns Valley locals. But the tavern was much more.
We are heartbroken for the owners. We're heartbroken for the community. That was a particularly iconic and special historic site. It was on the National Register of Historic Places.
Mary Sorensen, the executive director of the Center County Historical Society, says their mission is to preserve historical sites like the Woodward Inn.
They are the holders of history of a community and are places where visitors can come. So it also provides a tourism resource.
The Milheim Fire Company reported to the scene around 2:30 a.m. after a neighbor called 911. More than a dozen regional fire companies helped fight the blaze. The building was unoccupied and no injuries were reported. Milheim Fire Chief Delmer Holman told the Center Daily Times that new owners were almost finished restoring the inn. Owner Corby Stover took to Facebook, expressing his gratitude for the first responders' dedication and the community's outpouring of support. Holman says the cause of the fire is unknown. Reporting from Haines Township, I'm Danielle Dempsey for the Center County Report.
Officials say the inn has been deemed a total loss. According to the CDT, the Pennsylvania State Fire Marshal is investigating the case.
Air traffic controllers are now experiencing short staffs and delays across the nation as the federal government shutdown enters its second week. The Trump administration has furloughed as many as 750,000 federal employees while the standoff continues. A memo from the White House's Office of Management and Budget suggests that workers are not guaranteed back pay.
But for the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way.
It's time for House Republicans to get back in town, get to the negotiating table, and get real about reopening the government.
The IRS has already furloughed over 35,000 federal workers. A prolonged shutdown can cause bigger problems as the October 15th tax filing extension deadline approaches. At the same time, the IRS is making changes that will affect everyone's federal taxes this year and next year. Provisions in a tax law passed in July, as well as inflation, led to the updated provisions. The effects of changes is based on the amount of taxable income and deductions taken, and tax experts say many taxpayers will see modest relief in their taxes. To learn more, you can visit irs.gov.
It's spotted lanternfly season, and the invasive bug is having an effect on local agriculture. Here, there, everywhere. If you've been out and about in Pennsylvania lately, there's a good chance you've come across one of these guys.
I hate them. I think they're so annoying. They fly everywhere and they have no respect for my personal space.
I try to step on them sometimes, but they're just too fast. So I was like, whatever.
Since their arrival to the U.S. in 2014, the invasive spotted lanternfly has been harassing wildlife and people across the country. They feed on the nutrients from plants like this tree here, and unfortunately for some businesses, they have a strong preference towards economically important crops. Spotted lanternflies are big fans of grapevines, making them a significant threat to vineyards. Barb Christ, owner of Happy Valley Vineyard and Winery, says they've been dealing with the insects for years.
Last year, they came 2 weeks earlier, so they came in mid-September, and we still had quite a bit of grapes on the vines to be harvested, but again, the population was very low. This year, they came 2 weeks even earlier.
They can be hard to spot amongst endless rows of vines, but if you look closely, you'll catch them hiding.
We would actually find them in the harvested grapes. Now, we've had people at Penn State do studies to assure us that those insects that are in the grapes aren't going to taint the wine at all. They come out with the skins and things like that, but they're there.
It's not just their presence in the harvest. The problems they cause in the vineyard run deeper.
If they're in a heavy infestation, they're going to take that nutrient and use it for themselves, and the plant doesn't have it.
Fortunately, Happy Valley Vineyard is done with their annual harvest, so they can take some extra measures to fight back.
If they're still very active in the vineyard, we're actually going to put a spray to try to knock them back.
For anyone planning to visit the vineyard, there is something you can do to help.
I tell people if they come out here, if they see one, go and squash it.
So, if you spot one, try to do your part, if you can catch them.
Ooh.
As the weather gets colder, we should start seeing less and less of the spotted lanternfly. But until then, vineyards will have to stay on alert.
The highly anticipated Penn State homecoming is here, and tonight is one of the signature events. Maya Beeling is live near Medler Field where the parade floats are being held. Maya?
Thanks, Andrew. I am standing in the parking lot where the homecoming floats are being dropped off today leading up to the parade, and every year hours and hours of work go into making these floats and making the parade happen.
Penn State is known for its traditions. Ones like homecoming have been around since 1920. The homecoming parade as it looks today started in 1922.
There's just something special about this institution, and it's the people, right? And it's exemplified in events like homecoming.
Cindy Hill is the director of the Penn State Parents Program. The group started getting involved with homecoming 8 years ago. They walk in the parade each year, holding signs and throwing candy.
They have a ball. My volunteers have a ball.
More than 150 student, alumni, and community organizations work together to build the floats. Zeta Tau Alpha, Alpha Delta Pi, and Alpha Zeta work together to create this masterpiece.
We built the floats on frames. It took about 8 to 10 hours, and now we're working every day, probably like 4 to 6 hours a day.
The theme of their flow is Mario Kart, featuring Mario and Yoshi. The parade starts by Medler Field before making its way downtown and then ending at the Lion Shrine. It's the largest homecoming parade in the country, according to the Penn State Alumni Association. Hill says the Parents Program isn't just for alumni with current students. Anyone can volunteer. She says events like homecoming and groups like hers can help create a bigger Penn State family.
I can tell you with our parent volunteers, several of them are alumni. Most of them are not. By the time they're done and their students graduating, they feel like they're alumni.
Right behind me here, you can see the finished Mario Kart flow, and it is looking amazing. If you want to see this flow and many others, you can tune into the parade at 6 p.m. tonight. You can live stream it from home by going to homecoming.psu.edu. Or for a front row seat to the fun, I'd recommend going to Curtin Road near East Halls. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Maya. Still to come on the Center County Report, can we finally expect to see some fall weather? We checked the 7-day forecast.
Also ahead, it's the second week of the Penn State hockey season, and they face off against Clarkson in the second game of the series tonight.
Why did I pay money for student tickets if they're going to perform like this out on the field?
And in the wake of 2 straight losses, Penn State football fans have a lot of opinions.
As Penn State football enters the middle of its season, many fans of the team find themselves disappointed with the Nittany Lions' performance thus far. Reporter Nolan Collery is in the studio with more. Nolan?
Thanks, Anna. The Penn State Nittany Lions are coming off the heels of a 37-42 loss at the hands of the UCLA Bruins. The Bruins entered the game winless with the worst scoring offense in the Big Ten. Now, Penn State stands at 3-2 with a difficult stretch of games to come. I had the opportunity to take to the campus of Penn State to get the reactions of students of the university. Take a look.
Wow, this is probably the worst case scenario, the worst thing that has probably happened to me as a Penn State football fan in my short time here.
At the beginning of the 2025 college football season, the Penn State Nittany Lions were the second-ranked team in the country according to the AP poll. Now, just under 2 months later, the team is unranked for the first time since 2022. We already know that Penn State has fallen out of favor with the AP voters as the team finds itself outside the top 25 for the first time this season. But what about with Penn State students and faculty? Today we are on Pateen Mall between Old Main and the Willard Building, and we're looking to ask folks what they think about this team this season. What are your thoughts right now about the state of Penn State football?
It's just kind of sad.
Not adapting, not adjusting, and then losing to UCLA on the road is pretty much unacceptable for a program like this.
Season's over.
Season's over.
Season's over. It's like mathematically pretty much impossible for us to make the playoffs unless we do something that we've never done, which is win out.
After Penn State's losses to both Oregon and UCLA, some fans I spoke with are beginning to question the safety of head coach James Franklin's job.
I think ultimately you have all that talent, you have all of that potential for success. And if it doesn't materialize, that is your fault, James Franklin.
Coach Franklin, love the guy, but he's been riding the coattails off that Ohio State win back in 2016, and that's the only reason he still has a job here.
Now fans are forced to face the reality that the goal of a national championship is on life support.
I'm seeing a realistic 3 losses at the least this season.
They do have the talent. They just need to kind of find themselves again. So it won't be a total lost cause, but yeah, I think your natty hopes are kind of done.
Of all the fans we spoke with, they weren't angry, just disappointed. How do you feel about this team, expectations compared to where they're playing?
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. I wanted to see this team go all the way, and it sounds stupid, but there was a part of me that really thought they had a chance to do that.
A path to the college football playoffs is still feasible for the Nittany Lions, but with over half the season left to play, that path grows more difficult to traverse every week. Penn State will host the Northwestern Wildcats this weekend for the homecoming game, then take to the road for 2 away games to close out October. Reporting live from the studio, I'm Nolan Collery.
Thanks, Nolan. You like your graphic over there, Unhappy Valley. And if you're like me, it's also, and you don't like the cold, yeah, you're pretty unhappy this morning. But temperatures are a little bit warmer now. This morning, though, we saw our first freeze in State College, our first since April 17th. The temperature reached 32 degrees this morning. Williamsport was at 30, but Pittsburgh and Philadelphia were a little bit warmer than the rest of the state, especially Pittsburgh. Outside of Beaver Stadium this morning, got mostly clear skies, just a few stray cumulus clouds in the distance, but overall, it's going to be a pretty beautiful day. Great weather for a homecoming parade. Temperature at 54 now in State College, 56 in Phillipsburg, and across the region, we're in the mid-50s right now. Pittsburgh's already at 58. Erie a little warmer at 59. In Philadelphia, being the warm spot of the state, once again, sitting at a temperature of 62 degrees this morning. So I mentioned that the weather's going to be great for the homecoming parade. We're expecting skies to be mostly sunny, clear skies for the parade tonight, no issues with the weather. And then tomorrow for a big game day, they got probably cloudy skies with temperatures in the mid-60s. But then, once that sun goes down, then temperatures will really start to cool off. But we're seeing lows in the 40s again, so it won't be as cold as it was last night. Futurecast, rather, we've seen just a few clouds throughout the area, so again, weather's going to be great for the football game. Though our next system, we're watching for a few showers late overnight Saturday and into Sunday, but Sunday is really when the rain's going to come, so If you have any plans this weekend, tomorrow is going to be the best day because Sunday it's looking pretty wet out there. If you zoom out a little bit farther and take a look at one of our computer models, you can see that it is blending the coastal system. In fact, we could call this a nor'easter, and if it was winter, we'd be talking about snow, but it's going to be way too warm for that. So we're just going to see rain, but we do need that rain with the drought situation building up, and well, we'll get some relief for that on Monday and Tuesday, the Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So beginning of next week, we'll see some relief from that. Today, though, we'll see skies mostly sunny, 62 degrees, a little bit warmer than yesterday. But tonight will be a lot warmer than last night with a low of 42 degrees. Tomorrow will be a lot warmer today, though, with the high of 66 degrees. And on that 7-day forecast, you can see temperatures are right around average. Our average high this year is 63 degrees. We're watching for that next system, though, on Sunday, Monday. So if you have any plans this weekend, though, Saturday's going to be the better day. So good weather for the game tomorrow.
That's good to have some great football weather tomorrow. This great football weather moving in. Actually, this morning when I came in here, my car had frosted it. So those cold temperatures, of course, not fun so far.
Yeah, there was definitely a chill in the air this morning. We had to kick the heat on in our house, which is bad for the utility bill, but I will say it definitely feels like football outside. Thanks, Daniel. Now we'll head over to Mike Landis with sports.
Coming up in sports, Penn State football looks to rebound on home turf after the loss to UCLA. And Gavin McKenna takes the ice for the first time at Pagula Ice Arena. Sports is next. I'm Michael Landis with sports. Penn State football is 3-2 with its back up against the wall of history. Last year, in the newly expanded 12-team playoff, only one team got in with 3 losses, Clemson as the 12th and final team. Now, the Nittany Lions are looking for a homecoming bounce back, needing that first Big Ten win. Family, friends, and parades. Penn State's annual homecoming game is back. It's a battle of the cats as the Penn State Nittany Lions take on the Northwestern Wildcats. Penn State is still looking for their first conference win after starting 0-2 for the first time since 2020. With last week's historic upset against UCLA in Pasadena, the Nittany Lions now find themselves in unfamiliar territory, unranked for the first time since 2022. But that hasn't changed James Franklin's 1-0 mindset.
We need to overcome it as quickly as we possibly can, tune out the noise, focus on getting better.
The homecoming week leading up to the game includes activities like the student-run homecoming parade, the Guard the Lion Shrine Vigil, and the selection of the homecoming court. On the field, the team will be honoring the past again, wearing their Generations of Greatness uniforms in a stripe-out themed game. As the Nittany Lions prepare, Gabriel Nwosu says he embraces all types of energy on the field.
I feed off of negative energy all the time. I mean, that's what you do when you go to a away environment. So that's what makes college football so special. Positive or negative, like, we're going to excel no matter what. So that's all that matters.
Despite disappointment from some fans, players are excited to be back in front of the home crowd.
The fuel comes from within us. So we the ones who bring the fuel. And yeah, it might be, a little hostile. But, we all know that once we get that win, that you want to know, they're going to love it. So
Kickoff for tomorrow's homecoming game against Northwestern is 3:30 p.m. You can listen live on Penn State Com Radio with our broadcast team at Beaver Stadium. College athletes and staffs could be allowed to bet on professional sports. The NCAA's Division I committee adopted that proposal this week. By the end of the month, Divisions 2 and 3 are expected to discuss the matter. If all 3 divisions vote yes, the new rule would be implemented by November 1st. The NCAA's current policy prevents student athletes and staff from placing wagers on college sports. After starting the season 2-0, sweeping Arizona State on the road, Penn State returned home to State College for the first time last night. Reporter Kaylee Tallman has more.
Since March, Pagula Ice Arenas stayed quiet, hibernating. Last night, its life came back. Penn State is coming off a remarkable season, capped off by a trip to the Frozen Four, after not winning a conference game until January. The home opener marked a transition between last season and this season, with the raising of the Frozen Four banner. Now that the Frozen Four banner hangs up safely in the rafters, Penn State can officially close the book on last season and write this season's story. Now that all starts with NHL top prospect Gavin McKenna, and the fans here sure are ready to say welcome home to Hockey Valley. Unfortunately for those fans, Clarkson rained on McKenna's homecoming parade. The Golden Knights silenced the crowd early, scoring just over a minute into the game, but Penn State was quick to respond with a goal from J.J. Wiebusch. Wiebusch went on to score 3 more goals, becoming the first player in Penn State's history as a D1 program to score 4 goals in a game.
He has a knack, is what you see. Like he's obviously skilled. His hand skills are excellent, but he does have a knack. He has a knack for finishing, and he has a knack for getting open.
Wiebusch's effort wasn't enough for Penn State. Clarkson scored 4 unanswered goals to win 6-4.
They all hit us. They did the little things right. Capitalized when we made mistakes. So
Penn State has the chance to rebound against the Golden Knights in Game 2 of the series.
We know we have a very solid team this year, and every game we're going to get the other team's best, and we need to be ready for that. And I think that's kind of where we show it tonight.
Reporting in State College, I'm Kaylee Tallman for the Center County Report.
Puck drop for Game 2 of the series is tonight at 7 p.m. The game can be streamed on Big Ten Plus. Now over to high school football. Let's take a look at some of the key games on tonight's schedule. The Penn Cambria Panthers host the Tyrone Golden Eagles. The Panthers haven't lost since Week 3 of the season. Tyrone hasn't beaten Penn Cambria since 2020. The Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders head to Sidman to take on the Forest Hills Rangers. Both teams enter the matchup at 6 wins and 1 loss. Both of their losses came to the Richland Rams. BG won their last meeting 49-7 in 2022. The 6-1 State College Little Lions host the Central Dauphin East Panthers to Memorial Field. Tonight is State High's senior night and last home game of the regular season. CD East comes in on a 3-game win streak. And I gotta tell both of you, I'm really excited. Mid-October, it just kind of feels like peak football weather is here.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the weather, playoff football season for high school right around the corner, of course, and Penn State in their homecoming game.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for football for sure, and I know I'll be tuned in to the hockey game tonight to see if Penn State is able to split this series. Thanks, Mike. Coming up next, it's time to talk turkey. You can find out how to sign up for Penn State's turkey harvest when we come back. This Thanksgiving, you and your family can get a turkey from Penn State. The Penn State Poultry Science Club's annual fall turkey sale is just around the corner. Every year, the club sells about 300 birds, all raised and processed here at Penn State.
People just rant and rave about our turkeys. I don't think there's anything particularly special about them. They say that they taste better, but I think they just like the idea that this is a Penn State product that was cared for, raised by Penn State students and faculty.
The sale goes live on October 17th at noon.
That's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us on Tuesday for our next local news update.
Have a good weekend.